Well, a very good afternoon to you all then here at the KCOM Stadium. Hull City versus Cardiff. Neil Warnock's Cardiff come to the KCOM Stadium, relegated from the Premier League, and have started in very quiet fashion to this championship campaign. They sit right ahead of Hull City. It's 13th versus 14th in the championship going into this one. The league table just beginning to take shape, and if Hull City can win today, they will attach themselves to all the sides in the top half and pull themselves away from those who are struggling for points at the bottom. Grant McCann's side picked up a brilliant 3-0 victory at Kenilworth Road last Saturday, which will hopefully inspire more attacking confidence into the front line for the Tigers. Cardiff this afternoon have scored plenty of goals, but they've shipped a couple as well. They've been a little bit inconsistent so far this season, but the stats show that these two sides are relatively the same. They've come up with some good performances and some they'd rather forget about. So the Tigers line up like this today. Stephen Kingsley isn't fully fit, so Brandon Fleming comes in at left back. It's the same three-man midfield that started the game against Luton. Leo Da Silva was impressive, so too Jackson Irvine, and who can forget Kevin Stewart managing to get a brace and his first goals for Hull City. Going up front, however, Bowen and Grzycki this time are going to be joined at kick-off by Josh McGuinness, who replaces Tom Eaves, who can only find a place on the bench. And new man Norman Below, a free agent Hungarian international, will be hoping to state his claims from the bench. It's a very strong-looking bench for Grant McCann's side today, arguably the strongest Hull City have had this season. Neil Warnock decides to change things ever so slightly. We predicted a 4-2-3-1, but it looks as though he's going 4-3-3. He's made a few changes up front, and he's brought in Robert Glatzel, a German forward who last year got 13 in 26 for Heidenheim in the lower divisions of the German league. Marlon Pack is their notable inclusion. He's been injured in the last couple of weeks, and he comes in. Gavin White yet to score, but knows Grant McCann very well with his Northern Ireland connections. And Junior Hoylett is back in the team as well. He scored a couple of goals at this level as he's yo-yoed between the Prem and the Championship. So Hull City this afternoon will be hoping to get a victory against Cardiff. Cardiff have never won back-to-back since 1998. That was back in the equivalent of what is now League Two in the old Boothray Park days. Now, referee this afternoon is someone we will have never seen before at the KCOM Stadium. His name is Jared Gillette. He's Australian. He's actually over in the UK studying. He's currently researching into the causes and potential preventions of cerebral palsy. And he's over here educating himself, and he was ranked as one of Australia's most experienced referees in the A-League, the top division in the country. And he's doing his studies at Liverpool John Moore University. So a wise man, and hopefully he will have studied the rule book just as much as we go into this one, as Hull City are going to get us underway and hopefully continuing to kick on from the events of Kenilworth Road last week. Leo Da Silva gets us underway, and let's see what Hull City can achieve against one of the sides coming down from the Premier League. Of course, a destination which Grant McCann still believes Hull City can achieve. Maybe a long distance for Cardiff, but they have brought the most fans of any side this season. They've got nearly 2 blocks full. Away to my left-hand side here, Cardiff in blue. And a long throw straight away, looks to try and find Glatzel. Over the top ball to find Gavin White, one of the smallest men in Cardiff City this afternoon, and he was unable to win the ball off Jordi Device. As the early exchanges proceed, both managers out in their technical areas. Of course, Grant McCann more fresh-faced to the managerial game, after a couple of opportunities in the lower divisions, whereas Neil Warnock is into his 30th year as a manager and his 52nd year as a professional in the sport. This is his 10th championship club that he's been in charge of. And he'll be hoping to take Cardiff back to the Premier League like he did a couple of seasons ago. Leo da Silva looking to use his pace down the line. This will go back to Smithies, who will clear it away. Leonardo Bacuna receives the ball back. This looks to be a decent little piece of play by Cardiff, and they could get their first shot away. But Brandon Fleming does very well. He positioned himself right, and Gavin White should really have been able to take a step into the box and at least got a shot away. But brave defending from the young fullback who's back in the team today, and hopefully that's the first of many excellent interventions he makes this afternoon. Josh McGuinness, 2 men on him. He's got the very difficult job of looking after 2 6'4" and 6'5" respectively central defenders in Flint and Morrison. Morrison launching it up, but only finds Lehigh, and that one will just stroll back into the clutches of George Long, who will be delighted to have got his first Hull City clean sheet last weekend. 14 games it took to arrive, but he pulled off some very good saves indeed, and Grant McCann has been full of praise for him during the week and saying that he is fast becoming one of the leaders of Hull City's starting 11. Rhys Burke back towards George Long, and a little bit of patience here from the back lines for the Tigers. And now Jordi Device initiates the pass forward towards McGuinness. Again back to Burke. Nice little touch away from Cardiff's forward. Strolling forward Burke. Picks out McGuinness. First I thought he was going to be able to take that touch into the box and set his sights, but the ball was a little bit of a betrayer. Irvine battling hard after a lengthy delay. And the referee for this afternoon points in the favour of Cardiff. Device's header should be brought down and controlled by Stewart. He pokes it over the head of Rhys Burke, who has to take evasive action and sends the ball up towards the halfway line. It's the Cardiff fans at the moment who are the ones making the noise at the moment inside the KCOM Stadium, which once again, despite autumn now being in full swing, the summer sun does not really want to stay away from the KCOM Stadium. Burke trying to play it forward again, not very successful. Gavin White caught by Fleming with the use of the arms, so free kick given. So set piece to defend then, and the big units of Cardiff are making their way forward. Morrison, Marlon Pack getting involved as well. And delivery by Joe Rawls. And that will be just a corner. George Long couldn't keep that one in time. He was headed behind. And a couple of questions being asked to the referee by Eric Lehigh. Not too sure what that's regarding. But first corner of the match, and it's for the visitors here. And it swings. And that header is wide of the target. And Glatzel, German forward, just 1 goal so far this season. Just has to be a little bit more accurate with his chances. But that is the best chance of the game so far. 6.5 minutes gone. Cardiff setting their stall out to try and be dangerous from set pieces. Well, from one goalkeeper to the other. And George Long sending the ball careering up the middle with no real joy. Alex Smithies plonks the ball down in front of him, and he sets it booming forward. Out on the left-hand side for Cardiff. A very quiet KCOM Stadium, it would seem. Cardiff coming into this match having not won away from home since going to Old Trafford of all places and winning by 2-0. Nathaniel Mendez-Leng, who got the brace that afternoon, can only find a place on the bench as Hull City get a free kick in a more scrappy affair over on that left-hand side. It's a pretty poor pass by George Long. The device plays it across towards Riesberg. Lehigh. Cardiff certainly interested in pressing the ball. And George Long now sends it careering forward. And again, nowhere near anyone in amber. Up goes Jordi Device. Lee Peltier, the only man actually in Cardiff's team today to have some form of connection with the club, having played here on loan once upon a time as a Liverpool loanee many years ago now. Hoylett has miscontrolled it, so it will be a throw-in. He actually signalled that it should have been Hull City's throw-in, but he's actually been overruled, I think, by his linesman, so immediately changes his decision. That brings interest from the management as Grant McCann has a word with the fourth official. So it looked to be a bit of miscontrol. It's now gone Cardiff's way. In it comes. The Jordi Device gets a touch on it. It will now be cleared away. Smithies. And again, sent through, and George Long will gladly accept that one. So apart from that set-piece opportunity for Cardiff City inside 6-yard box almost, there hasn't really been too many attacking chances. And George Long has seen a lot of the ball so far, but it's merely receiving it from his defenders and just clearing to safety. Josh McGuinness being pulled about, nothing given. Stewart delicately floated to Grzycki. Unfortunately runs out of space, and that will be just a goal kick for Cardiff. If Grzycki scores today, it'll be the first time in his career where he scored in 4 successive league matches. He has done it once before in 4 consecutive games, but it was a combination of club and country back in 2017. Lee Peltier looking for the ball down the line. Fleming watching this one every step of the way, and then just clears it out for just a throw-in. Morrison trundling forward to take this throw in. You'd normally expect the big centre-half to be in the middle. But he has got a long throw in his arsenal. What will come of it? And it comes. Partially cleared. Then Lehigh and Stewart bump into one another. Off the crossbar, Morrison across. And then turned behind. And the decision is that it will be a corner, which Jackson Irvine doesn't agree with. But that was certainly too close for Hull City's liking. The first initial header wasn't cleared properly. And then the shot coming back in and rattling the crossbar. And then almost turned in on the scraps afterwards. Morrison trying to set it across. Unsuccessful. Here comes the corner. No flicks to be had this time as Joe Rawls collects. Now Gavin White sent back in the wrong direction. That's better from the Tigers being able to force Cardiff back towards the halfway. Hoylett has picked out a lovely ball, and somehow no one in blue can get onto it. Passed through at least 3 players, I think, who had great opportunities to simply put a toe onto the ball, and it would have been in for 1-0. And that will disappoint the management. Neil Warnock does not like it when chances like that go begging, and Cardiff may start to feel now that they should be in front. Rosicky. Hull need to get a bit more of a grip of the ball. Cardiff at the moment being a little bit more bossier. Here's Bowen, first meaningful touch for him, and he's floated it over for Irvine. Rosicky stepping away, may fancy this. That's turned behind by a Cardiff man, so corner kick. And Grosicki out of nothing, always receives the ball in a wide area, but he can make things happen very quickly, and driving it into a central position to get the shot away. You knew he was going to have a crack, but Cardiff turning it behind. And he's over towards the east end, who will give him all the motivation in the world here as he sets this cross in with just 5 to aim at in the box. One of them is Irvine. That was the closest target, but it was Cardiff who initially cleared. And out by Lehigh. Rosicky couldn't get there, and Cardiff give it the old-fashioned hoof. So it'll be gathered by Stewart, who can see everywhere on the pitch from this position. So he overhit it slightly as he went in search of Bowen. Rawls. Gladzel, man over on that far side, unable to do much more than try and get it down. The Tigers' defence was handy. Hoylett. Again in a very tight area of the park. Hull City are being made to work. Neil Warnock watching on very calmly. Hands behind his back, whereas Grant McCann paces at the moment inside his technical area. Back it goes towards Bennett. He looks to play it forward. And Leo De Silva clears it up towards Josh McGuinness, who flicks on. And again, it's coming straight back. It's a very classic championship affair, this one. And lots of traditional style of play, you have to say, with 2 attacking formations on show. And Cardiff trying to be the initiators of sparking this game into life with trying to get the opening goal. They've had a couple of chances. throw. Flint just impeded. Bowen heads it away. I think he was wanting to try and set Grzycki on his way. A little bit of a misdirection to the header. And now Hoylett gets it on the floor. To try and initiate something. In comes the cross, headed away by Burke. And now we'll just go back to the keeper again. A lot of neutralisation in this first quarter of an hour, as both sides try and plot with more structure a way to go. It was a good turn by Pack, we haven't seen too much of in these opening minutes, but Cardiff now getting forward again. Well, George Long goes in, and he hasn't actually been able to mop up the ball, so Cardiff still have a chance. Very messy stuff. Then Long comes out. I think he actually punches Lehigh in the back of the head as well as the ball. And George Long there just maybe not necessarily looked a little bit unsure. He looked to have had it covered, and then all of a sudden the ball was available again to Cardiff, and the defence once again were wrestling to try and get on top. There's been a few moments where it's been hunting for scraps more than anything for both teams. Early device. Bakuna! Well saved by Long, straight into the chest. And he's put in a very good long throw to try and set Grzycki on his way. Bakuna is quick, very quick. One end of the pitch to the other, puts the ball out of play for a throw-in. And the traditional Neil Warnock now being on show, as he has his words with the fourth official, as Hull City set up for an attacking throw-in. Fleming dragging it inside, back to Leo da Silva. Cleverly done towards Lehigh, who slides. Must have felt that the pressure was coming. And then Bowen gives the Cardiff man a little nudge, and that'll be a free kick. Lehigh must have thought there that his full-back compadre over on that far side was going to come in and try and slide as well to take the ball away from him, so Lehigh there went down to the ground first, and all of a sudden Bennett decided that he didn't want to go in and retreated, which made Lehigh look a little bit silly. Guinness, brilliantly done. Now Irvine looks to try and slide it behind Grzycki. And Peltier, in a little bit more of a messy fashion, gets the ball back towards Smithies. Looked as though the attack had gone straight away. Fleming's touch. Irvine. In comes Stewart. Again, it'll be a Cardiff throw-in. Poorly done there by Cardiff. You'd have to say after 20 minutes it is quite obvious that both sides could probably do better on their best days. A game really which Cardiff have tried to gain some form of a hold on rather than Hull City. But now the Tigers beginning to potentially wake up as Stewart goes to ground, nothing given by the referee. Fleming will nod the ball out of play, looking to keep things as simple as possible at left back, given his lack of experience in the first team, of course breaking through last season. Peltier's throw-in. Plenty of men back here for Hull City. Peltier's little touch off Grzycki means Morrison may just have the opportunity here to throw it straight into the mixing pot. So Morrison setting his sights, in it comes, very close towards George Long, in fact a little too close. And again sends that monster of a kick forward, which Joe Bennett manages to judge well, and in fact Bowen has done enough there pressure wise to force the corner. Linesman couldn't have been any closer if he had tried. And Bowen working hard there to win Hull City the corner in a very Route 1 style. Well, the Tigers going to give their fans something to shout about here on the halfway point of the first half. And the answer is no, as Gladzel sends it firing back. And now Cardiff may just try and initiate some form of a counter. Free kick given, and Stewart in the book. And this time challenge. And the referee under it straight away, and taking no advice from his assistants. Grant McCann trying to inspire his side on now as we await this free kick, which is now whacked forward by Aidan Flint. Fleming's done very well to win that header. Out comes Stewart, not giving any fouls this time. He's played it nicely through towards Lehigh. And Lehigh looks to block and intercept and work hard to try and win the ball back for Hull. And back it goes again towards Smithies. This one again will just trundle through towards George Long. And Irvine playing the ball up towards Grzycki, but he knew that it was offside. Just one shot so far for the Tigers, and it came from Grzycki, but it was blocked and pushed out for a corner. Through the ball goes once again towards George Long. It's a bit like both keepers just receiving the ball at the moment and nothing else. A man who hasn't really been able to put any form of stamp on the game so far, Leo Da Silva, shielding that one out of play. Similar pattern to what happened at Kenilworth Road, you would imagine here. 0-0 currently. Leo Da Silva trying to play it forward. And all it will come to is just a goal kick for Cardiff once again. Bowen and Grzycki, the two main attacking threats for Hull City, but they've been kept very quiet so far. Fleming's got two men on him, and he just hooks it away for a throw-in. leaves this one for Peltier. The shouting, you can hear it from up here. And this time it will be Hull City's throwing, so once again, the chance not really producing anything magical. Long's clearance once again. Guinness trying to take it in. Gavin White not going any further than that, as Fleming again does very well. You'd probably have to say he's been Hull City's best player so far, because he's been brought into contention and has been made to work so far in the 27 minutes that we've played so far, and he has done everything commendably. Leo da Silva coming back and ending up on his backside by the corner flag. So another corner, and the corners have proved to be Cardiff's deadliest weapon so far. Will they go a little bit closer as it's swung in? Somehow passes through everybody. Hoylett will keep it in play. Back towards Bennett. Stands up a good-looking ball. McGuinness is the man to head away. Bowen looking to judge that one well. And that'll be a free kick. And whether or not Bowen actually went high there as he went to put the block in, I think that is the reason why the referee has given the decision that he has. And that's met by plenty of interest from both camps as to why the decision has been given. And maybe Cardiff feeling that it was a little bit of a rash challenge, but didn't look too much in the way of dangerous. Nevertheless, Cardiff are the side who get the free kick, and this is in a good area for a cross to be swung in. And Joe Rawls is the man over it. 200 league games for Cardiff City now. They're number 8. He's been here, there and everywhere in terms of the championship table in blue. Plenty of curve to that one, and that I think has brushed Irvine last, and it will be yet another corner. Hoylett then will look to play this one in. And look how heavily packed the 6-yard box is as it comes in. Searching for Morrison. This time it is repelled by Hull City with not too much danger. And Cardiff are forced all the way back to the keeper, who, if he'd taken his gloves out of the packet after buying them in the supermarket this morning, he would have been able to put them back in and gone and claimed his receipt, because they haven't got dirty so far. Stewart. Burke going back towards George Long. Waits as long as he can before clearing away. The order device being heavy-handed but legal. Peltier. Da Silva fighting hard. There hasn't been too much in the way of a press from Hull City in this one. They've been much deeper as Cardiff have been giving the ball a good old heave-ho from the goalkeeper on various occasions. Fleming can't win that header. Bakuna being met by Burke with heavy artillery. Rhys Burke there doing really well to actually shuffle across at high speed and eliminate any crossing opportunity. In terms of open play, that's something that Hull City have achieved, but when they've given away corners, that's when the crosses have been coming in, and they're really the only questions Cardiff have asked of Hull City's defence in a major spectrum. Whereas Cardiff's defence hasn't really had to do much work at all. Here's Rhys Burke. Pops it over the top for Leo Da Silva. He will hold this one up for Rhys Burke. Needs a good delivery. Grzycki will now deliver towards McGuinness, and for the first time Smithies gets his hands to the ball, and it certainly needed more power, but it was on target, so maybe promising things as this half develops. But Josh McGuinness getting into the right area and just giving the goalkeeper in the defence something to think about for future reference. 12 minutes of normal time, and the way things are going, there'll just be that one extra minute because there hasn't been any stoppages yet. Yeah, Cardiff have done well to win it in the midfield. Now can Hull City do the same? Advantage is going to be given Cardiff's way. Lehigh will pop that one back towards Long, who with a little scamper is able to collect that one comfortably. Dishes it out towards Stewart. Another little rant from Cardiff's manager Neil Warnock, who is getting a bit more animated on the touchline as this Cardiff team try and plug away to get the opening in this match. Down goes Cardiff's number 9 Gladzel, and that will be a free kick. Good positioning again from the referee. This one is a little bit more inwards from the previous free kick, which Rawls had the opportunity to deliver, and it's a little bit closer as well. So if he's going to flick this one into the penalty area, he's going to have to be dead accurate. A bit of a clumsy challenge on the edge of the area. Rawls, though, does look as though he's setting his sights with a very wide angle of attack. He's got curve on the ball, and out like Superman came George Long. 2 fists rather than 1. Fleming unable to tower above Flint. Jordi Device is his saviour as Gavin White looked to play the ball into the penalty area. Grzycki, now Irvine. He's actually done very well there to pick out Fleming, invite the pressure, try and pull Cardiff men out of positions for Hull City to try and utilise the pocket of space which Cardiff leave behind, but they've been a bit slow here, Hull. The ball's still stuck in the defensive ranks. Jordi Device towards Stewart. Now Leo Da Silva spinning, and now looking to maybe try and inject some pace. And Bakuna, simple as you like, will break that up, and it will go through towards the keeper once more. Lehigh over on that far side, just standing up Junior Hoylett, who gives it away. Stewart wanted to find Grzycki. Irvine putting in a real lung-bursting run. to try and actually win that one. Fleming. First contact was good with the ball, but then it just hit his opposing knee, which is why Cardiff have been able to bring it into the centre. Now Bakuna. Defended by Irvine. And Long makes sure it doesn't go out for a corner. And the only prize Cardiff get that time is a throw-in. Tom Eaves making his way to the dugout. It would have been a frustrating first half for him if he'd been on the pitch, you would imagine, because there's been very few opportunities for Hull City. Cardiff again having the chance as they take the long throw. Fleming and Yordi Device go to it together. That's in the back of Bowen. That'll be a free kick. That one going against Joe Bennett. He made his 100th appearance for Cardiff last week, and it's his 100th league outing for the Bluebirds. In terms of the way both teams have started their seasons, Hull City's results have been very sporadic with high goal-scoring figures, whereas Cardiff in the last month have kept things very tidy with a couple of 1-0s and 1-1s. And Neil Warnock's men are potentially the side, you would say, with just a firmer hold of this game, but the free kick goes Hull City's way, which could promote something much better and give Neil Warnock something to think about. Zicki moving from left to right to put his right foot on this one and try and swing it in with pace. Irvine was the target. Zicki wins the header. Plays it back towards Stewart, then Lehigh, and then Leo De Silva, who will send this back to the keeper. Once again, the tempo of this game has been a steady one. That's really been the main trend, the way that just unfolded. But this could change things. Grzycki. Now Bowen on the edge of the area. Cardiff trying to be organised. Very scrappy. Cardiff initially get it clear. Fleming hoists it high. Riesberg underneath that one. Free kick does go Hull City's way. That's met by cheers from the crowd and dismay from the Cardiff fans away to my left-hand side. Just over 5 minutes of normal time. Hull City starting to potentially just work a little pocket of the game where they start to maybe get in the face of Cardiff's defence. Bowen, now McGuinness. Leo De Silva fancies his chances and will clip the roof of the net, so it will go behind. It will be a corner. But the Tigers just starting to maybe just ask the defence a few questions. Grzycki much earlier on in the game having a block shot. Leo De Silva having one now. But Smithies is still yet to be tested as the clock ticks past 40 minutes. Bowen this time is the man to try and deliver. Normally it's Grzycki on this side, but they've changed places today. Grzycki trying to find Stewart. Lehigh will gather. Thought about giving it back towards Long. Tries to be a little bit more ambitious on the turn, and then gets his clearance or attempted ball down the line very wrong, and it goes out for a throw-in only. The way this first half has gone, it is no surprise that quite a lot of fans with quite a lot of time before half-time are deciding that refreshments are in order. They're making their way to the concourses early, feeling that in the last 5 minutes of this match, or the first half I should say, not a lot's going to happen. Stewart can't win it. Devlin White, now Gladzel. attack. It's been kept very quiet in the opening 45 minutes. Back towards Flint. Big kick away from Smithies again. Burke. De Silva wanting to bring it in. The two pacey midfielders of Hoylett and De Silva going toe-to-toe on that far side. Big switch in play, looking for Gavin White. He's able to chest it down. Gets it back towards Morrison. Morrison's ball forward, searching for the head of Bakuna. Irvine just keeps it in, dropped off by McGuinness. Plenty of spin on the ball for Bowen to maybe think about. De Silva back towards Lehigh. Now chance maybe brewing. De Silva into Bowen, tripped, that'll be a free kick. I think the Tigers fans want a little bit more. Aidan Flint knew quite well that that was going to be a free kick, but even so, it's brought a little bit of an argument between the two benches. But this is in shooting range. And plenty of free kicks have gone into the back of the net in recent weeks involving Hull City players. And one man has been the person to do so. And unsurprisingly, he stands over this one with Jared Bowen. Bowen very casually standing over the ball, whereas Grzycki looks focused. Grzycki. Oh, it's in! He's only gone and delivered again. Kamil Grzycki. First time in his career he scored in 4 consecutive league matches. A half which really hasn't warranted a goal, and it's arrived through the right foot of Kamil Grzycki from a free kick. It's becoming a trend here at the KCOM. Up to his tricks again, and Kamil Grzycki is loving these free kick situations, and so too are the City faithful. Cardiff fans look on stunned, because Smithies has had to pick the ball out of his net without really having to do any work in this first half, and Hull City lead by 1-0. Gavin White. Well defended by Brandon Fleming. Just goes to show how strange the Championship can be. Cardiff have been the side that have been trying to get forward more readily. They've had to create their chances from throw-ins and corner kicks. And then one set piece at the other end produces magic. Bakuna's ball in. That was sliced almost into his own net, the Hull City defence. And that'll be a throw-in. Now then, Irvine. And Peltier this time has been able to read that one. But Bowen will win it back. There's no free kick given by the referee either, so the chance can still potentially come. Grzycki outside of the foot cross. Doesn't really bring much. Stewart now to Irvine. There is just 1 minute of added time, and we're about halfway through that. So maybe one last chance. And it will come for Hull City. It'll be a throw-in. Well, there's half-time. And just looking down at Marlon Pack there, he turned away in disgust as Cardiff make their way off. Hull City with pats on the back, but plenty of words as well to each other, because they know here, really, this half has been a little bit more fortuitous. Rhys Burks actually said during the week that Hull City need a little bit of luck, and they got it through a magical free kick in Kamil Grzycki, able to get it just from the reach of Smithies. He's put Hull City in front in a half where the Tigers have really struggled to create chances. It's Neil Warnock's set-piece play which has been really the main proportion of attacks in this first half, but they haven't created anything in terms of anything special. They've gone close and they've hit the crossbar, but nothing more than that. Hull City 1, Cardiff 0 is the half-time scoreline. Well, we're just waiting for the Tigers to re-emerge here, and right on cue, here they come. Hull City leading this one by 1-0 in a half where you would have to say it's a half where they haven't really deserved anything, because Hull City in this fixture didn't create much in the first half at all. Kamil Grzycki from open play, his first chance was blocked, and then he whipped out a delightful free kick at the end of the first half. Neil Warnock's side were out very quickly for this second half, a no-nonsense team talk you would imagine from him. And the Tigers lead by 1-0 at the start of this second half, and it would appear there's no changes for either team as well. So let's see then if Hull City can continue on their merry way then, because they lead by 1-0, and they did it really without getting out of the first two gears. So let's see what Hull can produce in the second 45 minutes. It did look as though at half-time it was going in with the same sort of scenario as at Kenilworth Road, where there was barely any chances created. Cardiff City have not won away from home since falling behind since March 2018, when they won 3-1 at Brentford. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on in this second half. Set pieces is their formula. What are they going to produce from this one? Fired in straight towards George Long. And it is route one counter. Grzycki with Bowen in support. Leo Da Silva make a lung bursting run to get forward as well. Now Irvine. Grzycki. Oh, poked through delightfully. Grzycki across! It's come off him last as well, so it's going to be a goal kick. It would have been the best start possible to this second half, and it would have been the man who put Hull City in front to double their lead if he'd been able to just chip that one over Smithies or get it underneath him. It was to no avail this time, but it's taken them 70 seconds to create their first opportunity of this half, and it took them almost 20 minutes in the first half. Gladson tripped, but the ball was taken by Jordi Device, and now Stewart plays it to Irvine. He looks to get it through to Grzycki, but not the best level of accuracy. Jordi Device commanding header. He's going to win it again. It's brought down now by Irvine. Just noticing in the first few minutes that Cardiff's midfield always sits now a lot higher and appears more fragmented from the back line. So if Hull City could get in between those two lines and maybe start to pull the strings, we may be in for a good second half. But that's only if Cardiff continue to do that sort of style. There's Marlon Pack. Really struggled to express himself in the opening 45. And his throw-in could only find Leo Da Silva. It's worked wide towards Gavin White, who steps away from Fleming. Bakuna deflected. That'll be a corner. So corner kick, and Fleming for the first time really this afternoon was beaten pretty easily by Cardiff's winger White. He was able to just play it back towards Bakuna. It was well defended that time. And it comes. Again headed away by Jordi Device. Plenty of practice will have gone in on the training ground, you would imagine, in these scenarios, because it's really Neil Warnock's bread and butter. Lehigh. Little touch by Grzycki, and it was the appropriate touch. Just strayed away though from Jared Bowen, who looked to have cut more to the wider channel, thinking the ball was going to go there. Stewart looking to win that one on a yellow card, so he's going to have to be careful with his challenges in this second half. Hull have got Batty and Honeyman on the bench if he's starting to tread thinner ice. Flint cross towards White, good header by Fleming. Switch in play, it's sloppy, this time by Cardiff. Camille Grzycki is hot on the heels of Jared Bowen in the goal scoring departments. Bowen has had a quiet afternoon, and Leo Da Silva will have just been brought back into it by getting a big clump in the face from Lehigh. Gladzel, that one will go behind for another corner. Cardiff racking him up now, I would have to say. The Tigers needing to defend again here. Corner number 7 of the match for Cardiff. Long spills it initially, but gathers well, and he spots the run of Jared Bowen, who is away rapidly. He's going to be able to keep it in play as well. It's just 3 back for Cardiff. Bowen drops it into the path of Grzycki, and now it's Bowen! Saved well. Block as well maybe from the defender. And then Bowen just can't play the appropriate pass back towards Eric Lehigh, but great counter with long, quick thinking, spotting the fast, energetic run of Jared Bowen. The link-up play with Grzycki as well. But Cardiff shuffled well and made sure that the opportunity was wiped out. And Hull City just having to work harder, you would imagine, in the second half from open play to create chances. Well nodded down to find Bakuna. Irvine, and now Grzycki. Stewart, instead of going for the long passage, just drops it into the path of Leo Da Silva. Stewart just momentarily switched off, thinking that someone else was going to come and collect the ball, and Fleming wins the throw-in for Hull City. Now Reesberg. Bowen has stepped right into the centre here to try and receive the ball. And that's allowed Lehigh to push right forward. Cross from deep. And it's just over the head of Josh McGuinness. And Peltier sends it careering forwards up towards Jordi Device. But the first 7 or 8 minutes of this second half have been a bit more commanded by Hull. Cardiff have had a couple of corners, but it's been from smart defending in which those have come. Long's clearance. So at the head of McGuinness, but Bowen will put the pressure on. There's enough on that pass from Morrison to take it back towards Smithies. There's a little bit OTT by McGuinness, and that will be a free kick. Peltier. Pack. Rolls. Again goes back towards Morrison and back towards the keeper. Met by applause from the Tigers faithful, as Jackson Irvine and the forwards there doing really well to initiate a press which sends Cardiff in the wrong direction. Irvine. Bowen nearly finding McGuinness. Flint though sticks out a foot. Make sure that through ball is not going to create an opportunity for Josh McGuinness to try and get his first league goal for Hull City. He's got one already from the penalty spot at Preston. In comes Stewart. Slow and steady from Cardiff. Pack now finds Bakuna. It's a decent ball and it's 1-1. Clinical finish from the German forward Glatzel. Worked it well, and then the ball played across. And really it's a tap-in for Cardiff City. Most of their attacks have come from set plays, and the first time really they pieced something together of dangerous nature in the open spaces. They have taken advantage of Hull just partially switching off, and Cardiff are level here at the KCOM 10 minutes into the second half. Stemmed from play down the left-hand side. Bakuna was given great opportunity to get the cross in. Lehigh wasn't near him. So Hull City 1, Cardiff 1. And Hull City have to try and regain their lead once more. And they're going to have to crank up through the gears. Irvine trying to play it down the line again for Grzycki. Well, we know that Hull City can now go the distance in terms of being as formidable in their attacking rage. But what can Cardiff offer? The ball played in, Fleming's header. Irvine out-jumped. Morrison. Gladson, the goal scorer, just his second goal of the season. He's fired it across towards Junior Hoylett. The fullback's getting forward now. Hoylett, oh, he's going to get an invitation here, Cardiff. In comes Stewart. That was panic stations for Hull City, and now Hull City could maybe take advantage of Cardiff not being able to score at the other end when maybe they could have done and should have done. Grzycki over, looking to find Lehigh. But again there, it was a little bit lacklustre from Hull City's defence in open play. They were pulled apart, and George Long momentarily was completely eliminated from the equation. But Hull City's midfield, led by Kevin Stewart, came back and defended well, and the ball eventually popped away to safety. McGuinness, Irvine, that's a neat touch. Bowen, now a chance is coming. Bowen, blocked by Peltier, and he could maybe have actually got the ball through to one of his teammates. It's going to be a throw-in Cardiff's way, which is met by disapproval from the East Stand over on that side of the ground. Goals scored for Hull City, but 12 conceded as well. Only Luton have scored more goals in the bottom half than Hull, but Luton have conceded 17. Bakuna. Neat turn, gets the ball out to Hoylett. Cardiff looking dangerous by the second, in it comes, and that's gathered by George Long. This gives Gladzel a gentle shove over. Now the game's getting more end-to-end and a little bit unpredictable. A minute shy of the hour. A very rigid and stubborn first half from Cardiff, which stopped Hull really creating anything. They were lucky, you'd have to say, to lead at half-time. But now it looks as though, judging by the body language, that there is going to be a change coming for Hull City, and I think Josh Bowler is the man who's been summoned by Tony Pinnock. Kuna. White. That's a good tackle again from Fleming. He's putting in a mature performance, you have to say. So far so good from him. After an hour, and Bowler stripped ready to come on for this final half an hour. And Cardiff haven't decided to make any changes just yet. It will be Grant McCann to make the first move and show a hand potentially from the bench. It's a decent cross, but it's collected very calmly again by Long, whose quick distribution sees the ball reach Leo Da Silva. Inside to Bowen. Bowen round one, and appeals for a free kick, which aren't listened to, and then Leo Da Silva chops down Bakuna, and that'll be a free kick Cardiff's way. And Grant McCann and Cliff Byrne are a little bit unhappy about that one, in more calm nature than anything. And the change is that Leo Da Silva is going to come off to be replaced by Bowler, so Leo Da Silva off, and now Grant McCann giving the instructions to Jared Bowen, so we're going to see how he shapes things. I think, judging by the way he's sliding more centrally, it's 4-4-2 now for Grant McCann. And undoubtedly it'll be an explosive 4 whenever the ball comes forward, and Bowen is the man to come forward. And he shoots over the top of the crossbar. Kept on motoring. Didn't have a striker to choose because his strike partner McGuinness is down in back play. Well, chance for hydration and instructions then from Grant McCann for players who have worked hard. Warnock also getting his players to do the same. Longer pause in play here for Josh McGuinness, who's thankfully sat up. And there are striking options on the bench. I think the way Cliff Byrne was just instructing to Tom Eaves there may just indicate that Eaves may be coming on soon. McGuinness still sat down, and has been for a couple of minutes. As the league takes shape in these early stages, I'll tell you that at the top of the table, Swansea are leading, so they're going to be top of the tree as things stand. Leeds trail at Charlton, and sides below Hull City, likes of Luton, they're leading at Blackburn. They're the only team at the moment in the bottom half to be leading their fixture. Everyone else is either drawing. Middlesbrough have been thumped 4-1 at home by Sheffield Wednesday. And Huddersfield drawing 1-1, which would mean that Stoke and Huddersfield, who on paper look like heavyweights, would have gone 9 games without picking up a victory. And Huddersfield are at home to Millwall today, which many would have maybe had down as a Huddersfield win. And Josh McGuinness is over on the touchline, still receiving treatment. Grant McCann, in a way, is a player who, and a manager who would not want to risk players, and it looks as though there's a bit of a bloody nose for McGuinness as Cardiff come forward. So Hull are down to 10 men temporarily. As the throw-in gets set, Cliffburn and Grant McCann in conversation as maybe the next move from the bench. The Tigers' defence, though, has to be ready and rugged here to stop Cardiff. And the goal kick is the decision. Grant McCann appears to be a manager of not much patience, because Josh McGuinness is getting a new shirt. And the fourth official still unhappy for Josh McGuinness to come on. Checking his hands now to make sure there's no blood. McGuinness back on. So Hull City back to 11 players. And that ordeal took a whole 5.5 minutes, all for a bit of blood from the nose. The tackle from Irvine. Here's Bowler. Oh, he's given that away. Recovered by Jordi Device. And look at all this space all of a sudden Irvine's got. He can carry on running if he wants. Here's Grzycki. Stands up across. That's headed comfortably by Flint. In comes Stewart, withdrew from the tackle. Jordi Device having to go toe-to-toe with Gladzel, and he's managed to get a piece of the ball. Jordi Device then had to time his tackle well, and he did so. And headed out by Bennett. That'll be a throw-in then. Hull City now able to get into Cardiff's half and maybe put more bodies further forward and maybe just create a few problems. And Bowler gathers. Nicely played towards Lehigh. Grzycki. Bowen regathers. Bowen shoots as well. And then it's turned behind. It's going to be a throw-in. Smithies was coming, but Cardiff's defensive ranks making sure that the ball was nowhere near the net, just in case someone in an amber shirt managed to latch on in a very dangerous area. Bowen doing well to recycle, get into the box. Lehigh. And that's over everybody. Of instructions between the Cardiff players, it would seem, as they get set for this goal kick. half of football which has seen Cardiff get back on level terms. McGuinness, Bowen now. As always, 4 men getting forward in each Hull City attack now because of the system change. It's Bowen looking to play it through. Maybe thought he was going to take an extra touch and maybe open it up for a shot himself. We know he likes to from the edge of the box. Here's Lehigh. Down the line for Bowler. He can't win that one. McGuinness, the man pressing. And Smithy clears away again. Joe Rawls. Now Junior Hoylett. Plenty getting back for Hull. Free kick goes their way as well. Well, now Neil Warnock feels it's time for change. He's going to throw on Nathaniel Mendez-Lang and Danny Ward to freshen things up in the attacking department. So Mendez-Lang, the man who got the goals for Cardiff's last away victory at Old Trafford, he's going to be brought on, and the goal scorer, Gladzel, is making his way off then. And Danny Ward will come on and maybe just play in behind, because he's going to be replacing Gavin White. He's going to be the man coming off. So Danny Ward may go wider, and then there'll be a system change as well from Neil Warnock. Danny Ward on. Hasn't started a match since their 3-2 home defeat to Crystal Palace. He's had to be very patient. He's had a few injuries in recent months. Guinness can't win that one. We'll run through for Smithies again, who's just swept up anything really that's got into his box. He's just been doing housekeeping for the second half in his penalty area. Cardiff with a chance maybe. Yordi Device headed it clear. Irvine doing well to win the ball, and then Grzycki tried to put his foot in, and Cardiff have it back. And they're inside Hull's final third. Joe Rawls, wider for Cardiff. Peltier, clever turn back. Yordi Device can't get a sufficient header away that time. Stewart on hand to clear it forwards. Free kick is going to go Cardiff's way. Arms all over in the Hull City midfield there. And Cliff Byrne has just handed instructions to the fourth official that there will be another change coming. Does he freshen things up front, or does he try and add a little bit more energy to the midfield to try and create those chances for the two in McGuinness and Bowen? And it's going to be Eves coming on. Joe Rawls chips it in again. Danny Ward. Rawls sent clear by Lehigh. Reece Burke needs to win this header. He's done very well there, considering Morrison was hot on his heels. Bowler goes down. Hull City ask for a free kick, and it's not given by the referee. Cardiff charging forward. It was well played by Yordi Device, and then Grzycki couldn't bring it under his full control. So Cardiff get the throw in, but before that there will be the change, and Josh McGuinness is going to come off for Tom Eves. If there was ever a time to get your first goal for the club, you would feel now is the time to prove the doubters wrong. Tom Eaves is on. The towering presence who sandwiches himself between the two tall presences of Flint and Morrison. Cardiff working this one well. Headed away. Joe Rawls has gone for it from range, and it's only found the stand where the Cardiff fans are. There's just over a quarter of an hour of normal time, but there will be time added on considering Josh McGuinness's injury. Tigers haven't had a shot on target in this second half. They've only created 4 chances as well. And they're going short from this goal kick, trying to invite the Cardiff players forward to maybe find pockets further afield. Lehigh finds Stewart. And Stewart's still striding forward, and he's picked out Bowen. And Bowen going to ground, free kick given. Well, it took a long time for him to go to ground, but he tried his hardest to stay on his feet. And this one is a little too far out in terms of an obtuse angle, really, of attack. I don't expect Bowen or Grzycki to be shooting from here. Instead, trying to find the heads of the men in black and amber shirts. Bowen is the man who's going to be in charge of this as Grzycki jogs away. Bowen's delivery doesn't meet anybody. And he puts his arms apart as if to say, where's the run? Had a little bit too much power behind it. Nobody seemed interested in going to get that one. Eaves looking to get his first moment here, and he's going to really make Smithies sweat. And Smithies does clear it away. Brought down by Mendes Lang. It's offside, and it's the first offside of the afternoon, coming after 76 minutes. Burke puffing out his cheeks and striding forward. A touch by Bowler is enough. Into the box potentially. He's bought a corner for the Hull City. Well, it's actually a goal kick. Thought at first it was going to be a corner, but rather unfortunate. Old school goal kicks though for Neil Warnock. Not interested in playing the ball inside the penalty area, just wants it whacked away to safety. They've made 2 changes, they've still got 1 at their disposal, and so too have Hull City. Eaves trying to flick it on. Smithies again, taking all the time he can. Bowen was lurking, Fleming was a little bit out of place there. So Cardiff can gather, look to try and get it into the box. The order device in the end calms things down again, gives it to Fleming. Here's Eaves, searching for the right passing option. Rhys Burke. Now with Bowler. Looking to move it inside. Bowen trying to drop it back into Bowler's path. Lehigh will let this one trickle out of play. Hull City need to find a little bit more if they're to get the winner. It's averted back to the first half really, where there's no clear-cut winner. And Junior Hoylett. Enough men behind the ball you would feel for Hull to repel this, but Cardiff passing it well. Here's Bakuna. Low cross played in. Fleming does well to stop the cross. It will be a corner. Quick word from the referee to Josh Bowler for his tackle further up the pitch. And lots of bodies now inside the penalty area. In it comes. Again, Long manages to punch. Under pressure all the time. It'll be a free kick. George Long shooing away the defence this time, wants to try and get everybody up the pitch. And Bowen wasn't aware the ball was coming to him. And Morrison looking to try and step into all that space, and Eves gives him a gentle nudge more than anything, despite being two strong, more physical players on the park. Morrison went down a little bit cheaply, you would feel, moving balls. That's going to be brought back. Cliffburn thinking about the final changes. Grant McCann watches on with a bit of anxiety. Forward it goes again. Morrison, the intended target. Zicki popping it towards Fleming. And he plays it down the line, looking for Bowen. Can't play the fancy flick inside, which was needed really to keep the attack alive. Cardiff had shuffled enough bodies across really to cope with that one. Forward it goes again. Fleming underneath it. Stewart. Irvine. Hoylett. And Lehigh's done well there, given the circumstances, being stuck deep inside his own half, and able to use the Cardiff man to buy Hull City a throw-in. Third and final change for Cardiff. Josh Murphy, who was taken out of the team for the 1-0 victory against Middlesbrough in their last match. He's now going to make his way on to replace Junior Hoylett. Murphy cost 8 figures for Cardiff City. It was an £11 million purchase 2 seasons ago. Flint to find Danny Ward, who's always under pressure. Rawls manages to tackle Irvine, so Cardiff are wrestling it back. And here is Murphy with his first moments of the game. It's to cross the ball deep. The order device stubborn as a mule in this fixture. Defends well again. You'd have to say on their day, if either of your device or Reece Burke were to make a couple of errors, you would feel that Cardiff may have been able to take full advantage. But Yordi device so far, as the clock ticks into the final minutes of this game, he's put in a good performance. And so too is this man Brandon Fleming, who now has a scent for the attacking area of the park. Here's Eves. Heading backwards, playing the ball towards Stewart. Reece Burke. Eves again. Bowler will look to try and round his man, you would imagine. Goes inside, he's round one man. Struggling, and then Bowen and Bowler come together. They get away with it. It's Stewart. Stewart shot! wide of the target. It's taken a long time for a shot of dangerous nature to come. And Kevin Stewart, who's got the appetite for goals all of a sudden and long shots this season, fancied his chances after scoring twice last week. He steered it wide of the target. And there is going to be a midfield change now for Hull City. And the man who's now made a little bit of history for himself with 4 goals in 4 consecutive matches. Kamil Grzycki makes his way off after a fantastic free kick again to add to his collection, and he makes his way off to be replaced by George Honeyman. So maybe reverting back to 4-3-3 potentially. Eves in the middle, Bowen and Bowler either side. Honeyman would slot back into a normal midfield role, or is he going to keep to the same tactic and move him out to left midfield, because we know Honeyman can play there as well. I think the second choice is the preferred choice. Marlon Pack, Mendes Lang. Can't win the throw-in. Vents a little bit of anger towards the linesman. Fleming long ball forward. Down by Jordi Device, quickly shuffles back into the 4-man frame of the defence. Here's Murphy. Rolls. Bennett. Cardiff and finally try and get the ball in, but it needed better quality, as Rhys Burke was able to get rid of it. Kuna, he's rounded his man. And that's nodded behind this time for a corner. You'd maybe say that he's been Cardiff's best player this afternoon. He's certainly been up there. The assist man for the goal, getting into the right pockets of space. Not afraid to use a little bit of pace he's inherited to try and round his men. It's Cardiff's cross. Long again under pressure. And the free kick is given. And that time, George Long had plenty of bodies around him there, trying to make life a misery. Stewart. Honeyman. Fresh legs, maybe fresh ideas from the midfield. Irvine, Bowen, Lehigh and Bowler. Clever play as Honeyman gets into the attacking equation. He tees up Bowler. That's a block. Still alive here for the Tigers. Lehigh. The cross didn't have any quality. And Cardiff regather. Well judged by Rhys Burke, who's got a man on now. Danny Ward pressurising, throwing for Hull City. It's inside the Cardiff half. There's 2.5 minutes of normal time. Bowen trying to do it all himself. The ball hasn't gone out of play. But I think Hull City have been given the free kick. Or is it going to be a throw-in? The linesman didn't initially flag. It is a free kick. And it's in a good area as well. A great crossing opportunity. Lehigh just trudging back to help Fleming, but everyone else will be looking to try and get onto this. Flicked on! And in! He loves coming up with last-minute winners. Jordi Device did it against Wigan last season, and now he has done it against Cardiff. And look what it means to everybody, not just in the stands, but from the bench as well. What a way to cap off a fine defensive performance, to come up with the winning goal. Cardiff undone by a set piece, which was their formula for goals this afternoon. And Jordi de Wijs storms in and comes up with a glancing header, which gave Smithies no chance. Lovely curve to the delivery. And Jordi de Wijs, it's only his second goal for the club, but both goals have been equally as important, and they've created the same scoreline. Hull City 2, Cardiff 1. Eves puts his foot in. And Cardiff now are going to have to work overtime, and they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink at Hull City's defence. Neil Warnock will be devastated if the scoreline stays the same. Headed out by Lehigh. Now the test begins. Hull City will have to soak up some last-minute pressure. 6 minutes of injury time. Free kick for Cardiff. Josh Murphy's delivery. That one looks a little bit too strong, and it is. And that will eat into the time. I mean, Kamil Grzycki's been given the Man of the Match award, but you have to say, last-minute contender has to be Jordi de Wijs. Not just for coming up with the winning goal, but an exemplary performance at the back as well. Plenty of headers, marshalling it well. Long clears away. Don't need to invite that kind of pressure. Maybe just go back to old school. Cliff Byrne furious down on the touchline. I think the message is clear. Look for the heads, I think, is the initial assessment from the dugout. Irvine. Stewart gets a clearance in. Irvine down to Jarrod Bowen. Now Eves. Eves just gives it a hoist into the air, and it's a clever one as well. Morrison. And that's back towards Smithies. Peltier giving guard. Jordi de Wijs can't win that header. It's Ward! In it goes! Cardiff equalise! The only time Jordi de Wijs hasn't been able to win a header, and it's cost Hull City as Danny Ward gets into the penalty area, and Cardiff prove they have got a sting in their tail and have come up with the equaliser in stoppage time. They did it in 2013, and 7 seasons on they've done it again. Looked as though Hull City had this game won, and now it's 2-2. Eves. Now then, Bowler. Lehigh. A blocked effort brings a throw in. An 89th minute potential winner met by a 92nd minute equaliser. Will there be another twist? Lehigh finds Bowen. Here's Bowler, trying to draw the Cardiff players in. Bowler. That'll be turned behind by Cardiff, but a free kick goes Cardiff City's way, and Rhys Burke getting in the face of the referee. Well, in a match really where not a lot has happened in terms of excitement for the majority of this game, 2 massive moments of excitement have transpired within the last few kicks of the ball in this match. And it is Hull City 2, Cardiff 2. Danny Ward, his first goal this year. That one's hoisted away and it will be a Cardiff throw-in. Lehigh's got to defend well. Ward putting his body on the line, gathered by Bennett. That will be Cardiff City's wrongdoing. It will be a throw-in. Neil Warnock apoplectic down on the touchline. Header by Bennett. Neil Warnock playing the devil's advocate, stopping Lehigh from getting the ball. He hoists it down the line and Eaves is going to give chase. Eaves does very well. He's kept it in. The bowler really the only man in support. Eaves has got a lot of work to do. Looks to try and drive it into the box. And Cardiff smother it away. We're into the 95th minute. Bowler. Get the impression there's a late twist in this one, and it's going to be a corner. The biggest roar from the Tigers fans in the last few moments. Bowen, the man to try and deliver. Irvine, I thought was going to get there. And Cardiff repel. Fleming battling bravely. Stewart comes in to help. Bowen. It's Bowen! Chance! Oh, it's blocked through heroic defending. Cardiff throwing bodies onto the line. I think at least 3 players there threw themselves into the ball to stop Honeyman from potentially getting the winner. Would have been his first goal for the club, and it would have been one of the most memorable. But a corner is what Hull City have. We've played 6 minutes of stoppage time. Honeyman's delivery. Gordy Device nods it down. Scrambled clear by Cardiff. Lehigh pokes it forward. And that will conclude today's fixture. 2-2 is the final score, and really all the excitement came in the final 10 minutes or so of this fixture. Neil Warnock and Grant McCann shake hands. A draw probably is the fairest result, but given the circumstances there, Hull City will feel very aggrieved in the last few moments to have thrown away 2 points there, because it adds to the collection now. It's 11 points that Hull City have sacrificed from winning position so far this season. Cardiff dug deep. Danny Ward was the man who was given the opportunity to score, and he gets his first goal of 2019. In the circumstances of this season, you would feel that this will be looked back on as a decent draw against the side that have just come down from the Premier League, but it's a very sour feeling at the moment for the club, because it looked as though it was going to be back-to-back victories for the Tigers today. Cardiff continue their poor form away from home. They never got the opportunity to get themselves in front, but proved to be tricky to handle, especially from set plays. 2 goals conceded may feel very harsh on both clubs in this game, but that is the final result. Cardiff will be the happiest set of the fans. They'll be heading back to Wales with a point. Cardiff have managed to come to the KCOM and draw. The final score, Hull City 2, Cardiff 2. In an interesting and exhilarating last few moments.